Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. I am Florence Joshua. Welcome. The Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, General Christopher Musa, has revealed that some individuals in Benue State provided accommodation to armed criminals responsible for the recent deadly attack on the Yelwata community in Gomo local government area of the state. According to the CDS, locals not only sheltered the assailants, but they also gave them food and women, while acting as local informant to help the attackers identify the location of the internally displaced persons camp in Yelwata. Musa made the startling revelation at the expanded media interaction at Defense Headquarters in Abuja on Thursday. He said the local elements aided the attackers in delivering a devastating casualty figure in the massacre. The defense chief explained that acting upon intelligence about potential attacks in various communities across the state, troops were mobilized accordingly. However, after arriving at the initial mentioned locations, they realized the information was a hoax, deployed to divert attention from the real attack, adding that before troops could be redeployed, the attackers had already hit Yelwata using a hit-and-run approach.
If troops are moving on operation, there are people that are monitoring them, tell them 3 vehicles, this number of soldiers, this number of this is what they are doing. People are giving them that information. People take food to them. People take even women to go and give them, to tell you how bad it is and how sad the situation is. Because of the insider information, that's actual day that it happened. The troops were there. There was a fake attack in another village. When the troops moved in, that's when they now came in to attack this other one. And that's what happens, because there are people telling them, okay, the troops are here, the troops are there. I can tell you consistently, if troops are moving on operation, there are people that are monitoring them, tell them 3 vehicles, this number of soldiers, this number of this is what they are doing. People are giving them that information. People take food to them. People take even women to go and give them, to tell you how bad it is and how sad the situation is.
It has been 3 years that suspected terrorists invaded the ancient town of Owo in Ondo State and massacred helpless Christian worshippers. Especially, let me take it again. Is it Owo, ba?
Owo.
It has been 3 years the suspected terrorists invaded the ancient town of Owo in Ondo State and massacred helpless Christian worshippers, especially elderly people who attended the morning mass to celebrate Pentecost Sunday at St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church. The victims, who had turned up in their best attires for the Pentecost service, which marks the birth of the church and officially end of the Easter season, had their lives terminated abruptly, with gory pictures of the victims littered the church premises. Owo has since remained a grieving community, desperately asking those in government to bring perpetrators to book. Meanwhile, heads of security agencies who were contacted declined comments and indication that the matter might have died a natural death and the victims died in vain. Recall that the state security outfit codenamed Amotekun on June 23, 2022 announced that it had arrested some of the suspected killers and seized evidentiary weapons and vehicles. One of the arrested suspects was accused of housing the suspect before the attack was carried out. Meanwhile, some notable personalities have lamented that 3 years after the killing of the worshippers, justice has remained a shadow. They accuse the government of shielding the identities of the killers, hence sweeping the matter under the carpet. While knocking the federal government for not parading the alleged killers, they insisted that the killers should be exposed and made to pay for their crimes against humanity. They also called for the public parade of the perpetrators and their swift prosecution to end such impunity that's fueling such violence across the country. According to them, the government should ensure that justice is served and to compensate the survivors and their families. As 2027 draws closer, signs are emerging that unless President Bola Ahmed Tinubu confronts growing tensions within the party and consolidates the popular support, his second-term ambition and by extension, the All Progressive Congress prospects may be hanging by a thread. Despite enjoying the backing of 22 governors, there's a widening gap between the president and the Nigerian populace. As 2027 draws closer, signs are emerging that unless President Bola Ahmed Tinubu confronts growing tensions within his party and consolidates popular support, a second-term ambition, and by extension, the All Progressive Congress prospects may be hanging by a thread. Despite enjoying the backing of 22 governors, there's a widening gap between the president and the Nigerian populace.
We acknowledge the resolution of these governors that the president should be used and be adopted as our flag bearer for 2027 presidential election for his second term in office.
Meanwhile, street-level sentiment suggests rising disillusionment with many citizens questioning the president's leadership. Still, Tinubu recently remarked, "They may not like me, but I am still their president." That statement, while defiant, underscores the challenge ahead.
Even Buhari, where would they say where was Buhari say even better pass Tinubu? What do they want to tell us?
Is Tinubu passing through what we are passing through? Did you know what we are passing through? I didn't get my opening. Talk say this destabilize. This destabilize like this. What we do for this country? This destabilize. We don't blame her.
Not everybody will like you in politics. They hate me like hell too. Well, I'm here. I am the president.
As the cracks in the APC continue to widen, prominent party chieftains and some key figures recently warned that the president cannot be the sole contender in 2027, declaring that other party stalwarts are already preparing to challenge Tinubu's 2027 ticket, signaling internal discord.
Jonathan had 22 governors then, endorsing him like we did now. And what happened? Jonathan lost woefully. And even that time, what happened? A lot of money was spent, over 2 billion or whatever. And then even the election was sifted. But we are not learning our lesson. And I pity Mr. President for this kind of a thing. Even though he came out one time that this is not time for campaign, we should not be campaigning. But you have already seen the problem now. You go out there and say you are endorsing Mr. President. And when the rumors came out that, the National Assembly members also and this thing are going to be given automatic ticket, the party came out to say we are not giving them automatic ticket. So who is going to be the foot soldier?
I couldn't, in all honesty and all consciousness and with my conscience, be in his government knowing I am plotting against his removal in 2027, because I will. By God, we will remove him. By God, we will remove President Bola Tinubu in 2027. And collectively, Nigerians will install a leader that will be our chosen, not his chosen, not Emi local. It will be our local. 2027 is Bobowa local.
I got out because there was no space. I didn't see that fire, that commitment, that zeal to fix a country that has been wrecked. And so instead, a country that is just getting worse. So
insiders now speak of enemies within. One major focus of internal debate is the Shatima factor, as the vice president's continued place on 2027 ticket is reportedly being challenged, particularly after the APC Northeast stakeholders meeting held recently in Gombe, which ended in chaos.
But it doesn't stop here. Just when the tension seemed to settle, public protests broke out, further fueling the opposition's narrative. The Coalition for Democratic Rebirth seized the moment, gaining renewed momentum and public sympathy. Their mission: to usher in a new government come 2027.
For President Tinubu, fondly known to his allies as Emi Lokan, the road to 2027 is increasingly looking like an uphill battle. What was once seen as a clear path to re-election is now marred with uncertainties, rival ambitions and growing disputes, both from within and outside his political fold. Whether Tinubu can steady the APC ship and reignite public trust in his leadership remains to be unseen. But one thing is clear: the countdown to 2027 has begun, and the storm clouds are gathering. Florence Joshua reporting for Clearview News Desk. In another development, former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has said This Friday, that Nigeria is now a crime scene where criminality is masquerading as governance. Obi was reacting to reports that the Senate Committee on Public Accounts uncovered 210 trillion naira discrepancy in the audited financial statement of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL). The committee, chaired by Senator Aliyu Wadada at a hearing on Wednesday, questioned conflicting figures presented by the NNPCL, especially on accrued expenses and receivables recorded between 2017 and 2023.
Please tell the committee what exactly happened that a department in NNPC declared huge profits between 2017 to 2021, totaling 9 trillion, while NNPC, of which NAPIMS is part, declared potpourri of losses and minimal profits totaling 68 billion loss. I hope you understand. NAPIMS, as a department or division of NNPC, within the period 2017 to 21, declared profit of 9 trillion naira, while NNPC, the mother company or the corporate body, within the same period declared losses of 68 billion. This needs to be explained. Sub 2, under question 2 sub 2, NNPC, please, can you explain to this committee why retained earnings of NAPIMS should be reducing, melting away or disappearing without official declaration and payment of dividends? As at 31st December 2016, NAPIMS had retained earnings of 8.4 trillion, and that can be seen on page 58 of NAPIMS 2020 annual financial statement.
The official 2023 audited financial statement, already in the public domain, has it that the NNPCL recorded 103 trillion naira in accrued expenses and 107 trillion naira in receivables, totaling 210 trillion naira. Reacting, Obi posted on X, saying, "It is with the utmost sadness that he once again reaffirmed that what was consistently said, that Nigeria has become a crime scene." Similarly, the widely circulated story alleging that His Excellency Architect Nnamdi Sambo, GCON, former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has defected to the All Progressive Congress (APC) is entirely false and without any basis. Writing the rebuttal on the authority of Sambo's family, Umar Sani, a former media advisor to the former VP, stated categorically that the story is a fabrication laced with mischief and aimed at misleading the public. He said the photograph supporting these falsehoods showing His Excellency with the Governor of Kaduna State, Senator Umar Sani, is not recent. It was taken years ago during a condolence visit by the Governor to His Excellency's residence in Abuja. Following the demise of his brother, the late Sani Sambo, according to him, the image is now being deliberately misrepresented to fit a contrived narrative. Sani declared that His Excellency Muhammad Nnamdi Sambo remains a loyal and committed member of the People's Democratic Party who has no intention of joining any other political party, adding that the defection story is purely the figment of the imagination of its authors, circulated to show confusion and achieve cheap political mileage. The public is therefore urged to disregard this misinformation and treat it with the contempt it deserves. Super Falcons head coach Justine Madugu has named 24 players in his final squad for the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON. Bay FC forward Asisat Oshola is making a return to the team after close to a year's absence since the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. Captain Rashida Ajibade, regular goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadoze, Francisca Odenga, Osinachi Ohele, Plum and Mikel Alonze were also included in the list. Meanwhile, 3 home-based players, goalkeeper Rachel Nwachukwu and defenders Kiratu Isa and Miracle Hussaini also made the cut. The Super Falcons will take on Portugal in a friendly in Lisbon next week Monday and are expected to face Black Queens of Ghana in another friendly in Morocco on Sunday 29 June. Morocco will host the competition from Saturday 5th July to Saturday 26 July. Stevie Wonder, who has been ranked as the #1 greatest R&B artist of all time by Billboard staff, Billboard has recently released a list of the 75 best R&B artists of all time, in which the publication explained that the ranking was based on vocal prowess, body of work, career longevity, industry achievements, game-changing influence, and enduring generational and cultural impact. Stevie Wonder topped the list, followed by Aretha Franklin, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, and Whitney Houston at numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5 respectively. Meanwhile, James Brown, Prince, Mariah Carey, R. Kelly, and Marvin Gaye completed the top 10. And that's the news. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via our handle on X, formerly known as Twitter at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I'm Florence Joshua. Bye for now.